The 97th edition of the Comrades Marathon is finally taking place tomorrow. I'm starting in Durban and ending in Pietermaritzburg and covering a distance that is slightly shorter than the usual at 85.91 kilometers. This will be the 49th uprun of the iconic ultramarathon and will also feature over 20,000 runners. It also comes after both the men's as well as the women's down records were shattered last year by Tete, Dijana as well as Gerda, Steyn respectively. To speak now to veteran ultramarathon runner as well as the 2016 down run winner Charne Bosman, who joins us via Zoom this morning to help us look ahead to tomorrow's the Comrades Marathon, of course. Charne, good morning and thank you so much for your time this morning on the Weekend Report. I mean, before we get into the race tomorrow, you've decided not to run the Comrades Marathon this year. Your decision to sit this one out, why was that?
Yes, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, so the last 2 years was quite a disaster for me. In 2022, I was hospitalized after 65 kilometers. What I didn't realize was I had COVID and I ended up in ICU for 4 days. And then last year I tried to come back, but with the injury, never going to Comrades with the injury, and I actually torn my hamstring muscle, and it took me 6 months. And I decided this year I'm not going to rush into things. I'm a very competitive runner, and if I want to do something, I want to give it my 110%. So yeah, next year I will be turning 50, and I decided why not? Maybe I'm going to give Comrades like a 2-year break, and then come back as a 50-year-old, and then I can maybe break the records. The 6:53 of Colinteria at the Comrades and some the shorter distances. But yeah, I must say my heart is quite sore because I've been running for the last 11 years. It's the first time ever for 11 years now that I'm not going to be at Comrades. But yeah, it's all for a good reason, and I will be watching it closely on television. And yes, I will be back. That's one of my best races, and I just love everything about Comrades Marathon.
All right, well, looking forward to next year. You know, you speak about how it's going to be very important for you to come back next year as you turn 50. I wonder though, Charne, what does it take though to be an elite runner running the Comrades Marathon and to also to be at the top of your game? Because I can imagine, you know, it takes a lot of work to be an elite runner and to run the Comrades Marathon. Talk to us about what it takes for you and what it took for you to be at that level for the past 11 years.
Yes, so it is, but people don't realize it's a lot of sacrifices. It's a lot of dedication. You need to, I'm just one of those runners that give 110%. You give up so much things in life. You don't go out at parties. You like isolate yourself for like 4 weeks. Even I did that in 2022. I still got sick. So it's really it's an all-in event. You just give your everything for that race that only happens once a year. If I think back in 2016, it's like if I train for Comrades, it's about 3,000 kilometers from January until Comrades. That's quite a lot of training, and that's not all. You need to do strength training. You need to look what you eat. We also on a doping program where you need to tell them your whereabouts. Where are you every day? And you need to have a 1 hour window open for them to come and test you. So it's a lot of stuff that goes into being an elite athlete. It's not just doing your race and then you win the race, but there's a lot of sacrifices. Yeah, and that's one of the things, and that's why, like last year, I wanted to come back, but I wasn't really ready, and that was my mistake. And I don't want to start Comrades again if it did not finish. So I just decided, this morning I ran a 20 kilometer, and I can feel I'm getting better, but yeah, so it's better to be 100% ready for that race. You can't go into that race like a 70% ready.
Well, there's a lot of excitement ahead of tomorrow's race, and I can imagine, you know, the only reason why there's so much excitement is the fact that the uprun is happening for the first time since 2019. So it's been a 5-year long break since we've seen the uprun. You've run the uprun before, 3 times, I believe. Talk to us about the route.
No.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I ran it 3 times before.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really a difficult one. So what people don't realize is You can't start. It is one of the hardest marathons you will ever run in your life because it's almost for 45 kilometers you just climb. And you need to be very cautious in that first 45 kilometers. You need to feel like you can go faster, but you need to stay in yourself. When I ran a brilliant race in 2015 when I came second in the up run. And I remember all the ladies was like pushing the whole time. I was just keeping my pace and I was like moving up and down. And then after 60 kilometers, you need to come at 60 kilometers and feel like this is where my race starts. You can't get to 60 kilometers and feel like I'm tired. And it's really, really important to take that cautious approach in the beginning. And then 60 kilometers, that's where the mental thing comes in. You need to fight with yourself. Your mind will play games with you because the human body is only made like to run almost like 60 kilometers. So you need to be breaking up your race in like in 5 kilometer segments and tell yourself, I'm going to push to the next 5 and not look at the kilometer mark boards because it says with Comrades, it's the only race, it says 84 kilometers to go, 83 kilometers. You can't look at that. And yeah, so the uprun is really, you need to plan carefully to have a success in that race.
I hear you on that one. You know, patience is very important when you basically
Yes.
run the uprun, especially in the first 40, kilometers of the
Yeah.
race. But let's talk about
Yes.
your favorites, to win tomorrow. There's a Tete Dijana who won the men's race. He's looking to also sort of get into the history books by winning 3 Comrades Marathon in a row. Gerda Steyn is also
Yes.
in it as well. She's looking to make it 2 wins in a row for herself as well. Who are your favorites to win tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow it will be Tete. I'm backing him. He's from the same club as me. So yeah, I think he's a favorite. Maybe Pietermaritzburg from Netherlands. He's also very hungry after last year's second place, so close after Tete. So I think it's going to be quite a competitive race between those two. With the ladies' race, it's my favorite. I think it's Gerda Steyn. She just showed us here with 2 oceans, and I could see on social media that she says she's feeling good, and I can see she's hungry. She's really looking forward after 5 years to get back and taking that title, to defend her uprun title. I could see with her training, if we look back at, she won on the dam in a new record time. She ran 2 oceans. But yeah, it all depends on race day. You can never say you're going to win this race. It's still 85, 86 kilometers. So anything can happen on race day.
Yeah.
You can maybe have like a bad day. So you're not a robot. So you need to have that patience in yourself, and you need to I always say to I'm coaching like 32 athletes. I always say to them, you need to have respect for comrades. You can't go in there with a big head and says, which is going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. So yeah, so it's going to be, Hara is my favorite, but there's other ladies also, like Carla Molinaro. She came third last year. Adele Bridrijk. She came second. She also ran under 6 hours.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of overseas athletes, like Morozova. She did won the race in 2022 with a down run. She also the year in 2017, when I came third, she was second. Yeah, so and there's also Halalit Sang. She's also from Nedbank. She came fifth, and that will be her first uprun. And I know she's training with Tete. They train in Dalstroom. And I think they are ready because I've been staying at altitude until the last few days before going down to Comrades. So it's going to be quite interesting race. Maybe it's going to be Hara in front. It all depends because Hara also, I don't know what her plan is because she's going to run the Olympic Games. So it all depends. Is she going to go quite hard, or is she going to stay with the ladies and just take the win? Or I don't know what's going to happen. It's because she does have that Olympic Games, and the Olympic Games is like in 48 days. So that's also in the back of her mind of thinking, I need to represent my country, and that's where my pride is. It's not just Comrades, it's Olympic Games also.
Yeah, and just speaking about that, you know, Charne, I will be the first to admit that I didn't expect Gerda to run the Comrades Marathon, and especially because after she won the 2 Oceans Marathon, she wasn't even sure about running Comrades. One of the things that she spoke about was that the focus was on the Olympic Marathon. That Olympic Marathon is coming in a month from now, in August. I wonder, though, is she running too much? Because she's run so many races this year alone, having won the Vaal Marathon. She won the Dam Marathon just a few months back. She won the 2 Oceans Marathon. She's now running the Comrades Marathon. Is she not running too much?
Yeah, so you need to be careful, you know, and all that races she won, that was the new record time. And, you know, your body can only take so much. And I'm so scared that she's going to shorten her lifespan, because I've been running for 33 years, and that's the thing, you need to look after yourself. And that's why I'm also taking a 2-year break now. But yeah, it all depends. I just hope she's doing the right thing. And she's quite a clever girl. So maybe she's going to do is like a long run for Olympic Games, and then she's going to concentrate on her speed work. That can work. But hopefully, I think she will know what she's doing. But I think Olympic Games is so important. But Comrades in South Africa is like Olympic Games. I know everyone in South Africa sees the Comrades Marathon as such a big race. Even when she came 3 years ago at the Olympic Games, people were asking on social media, "Oh, what happened?" So the South African public think she needs to win the Olympic Games also. And I think maybe that's why she decided, I can't come in the top 3 in Olympic Games. And that's why I'm going to give it Comrades Marathon and see what I can do at the Olympic Games. Because you must remember at the Olympic Games, all the Ethiopians were Kenyans, were Americans. It's a big competition, and the ladies are running around a 2:11, 2:12, 2:13 for a marathon. Hara's best time for a marathon is around 2:25. So I think that's maybe why she decided Olympic Games, I'm going to go there and give it my best and maybe run a 2:25 still. And that's not going to maybe bring me in the top 10. But Comrades is the one I want. So it all depends. We will see after tomorrow what she says going into the Olympic Games. But the same thing, you need to look after yourself, because injuries are so with athletics and with running, long distance running, you can pick up so quickly an injury like a stress fracture. So you need to look after yourself, not to do too much and too hard. And I just hope she will look after herself.
Well, listen, she's in a form of her life, so she's taking full advantage of that form. It remains to be seen whether it will pay dividends tomorrow at the Comrades Marathon. Charne Bosman, I appreciate your time this morning on the Weekend Report. We'll be watching that Comrades Marathon on television tomorrow, so enjoy it.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Charne Bosman, the 2016 Down Run Marathon winner of the Comrades Marathon, just speaking to us ahead of tomorrow's 97th edition of the Comrades Marathon, which also happens to be uprun, the first one, by the way, since 2019.